A very good evening to all the participants who have joined in for today's session, Student Development Program on Basics and Fundamentals in DevOps. Let us wait for a few more minutes as your friends and fellow mates are joining in. Amar, as the students are joining in, could we please play the video?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, so the collaboration with XLR was an excellent one. We conducted a Power BI workshop with Advanced Excel over a span of 3 days. The workshop was almost 12 hours long in total. Mr. Karthik, who was an amazing trainer, helped the students understand the concepts deeply. I am sure that the students will be able to apply these concepts in their careers as well as their daily lives.
The trainer, Mr. Karthik, was an excellent person where he explained in very detailed manner on how to give great insights using very complex data sets.
So it was a machine learning workshop. We learned a lot from the course, and it was a great experience attending the workshop.
The trainer was very helpful. He had a hands-on approach with his teaching, and it was fabulous.
This was a great experience for me. So I would absolutely love it if XLR and its team would come again to our campus and conduct more events like this.
It was a great course, and it started from basics and took me to a great extent.
The experience of the workshop was really nice. The feedback from all the students was positive. They understood the concept. The workshop was also practical based with some questions. The experience with XLR was very smooth. They helped us in conducting the workshop smoothly right from the booking of the vendor and deciding the course till the distribution of certificates. In overall, this workshop was a success during our Technical Fest Atmos, and I thank XLR for being a part of it.
A very good afternoon to one and all, those who are present here. Amar, could you please confirm if the screen is visible?
Yes.
Thank you, Amar. So I welcome all the participants from various colleges who have connected today and are interested in undergoing a student development program, which is of 10 hours, starts from today, 9th December, and it ends by 13th of December. Your classes will be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So tomorrow sharp at 2 p.m., the trainer would start with the session. So I would request all the participants to be present at 2 o'clock. So today, before we could start with today's session, let me give you a little insight about XLR and then move forward. So you would be trained for the next 10 hours, next 5 days on basics and fundamentals in DevOps. So it's an initiative by Task Telangana and XLR to provide training to all the students who are present here. So about XLR, XLR was founded in 2013 by an IIM and ISB alumni. We cater to the requirements of individuals, institutions, industries, and so far we have trained 5 lakh students and professionals, and we have our headquarters in USA, Houston. We have our presence not only in Houston but in Bangalore. We have our 2 locations, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Pune. So these are the places where we are predominantly providing training to all the learners who are interested in the emerging technologies. We have strong connect with premium associations like, as just now you've seen, IIT Roorkee. I have Divya Sampark, APSHE, Task, KMDC, IIT Madras, Pravartak, NASCOM Future Skills, and we have been awarded twice by Deloitte, Silicon India, Analytics India, PMP Training, APSSDC, IIT Roorkee, and many others. So as I was telling you, we have trained 5 lakh plus students. And when it comes to the faculty development program, 50,000 faculties across India, both engineering and degree faculties we have trained. Student development program, 5 lakh plus students trained. We have also conducted various webinars, seminars, workshops, close to 500 plus on 30 plus technical courses, emerging technologies like data science, machine learning, Power BI, Chat GPT, many other courses. And we have strong connect with 1,500 plus academic partners in training them on student development program, faculty development program, customized training program, internships, and projects too. We also provide students with placement assistance. So we have our 5,000 plus placement partners. We place the students within the 5,000 plus placement partners. And these are few recent engagements which you have seen some time ago, that we conducted a faculty development program on full stack development at IIT Mumbai. And this was from IIT Roorkee. There was a requirement for time series analysis and predictive analytics. And this was a student initiative where the student coordinators approached us from BITS Pilani Hyderabad campus to get trained on Power BI and machine learning. As we have our strong connect with IIT Madras, we provide cutting edge certification, joint certification courses. And very recently, that is in the from the 2023 Jan to April, we had launched a campus recruitment training program with placement assistance. In connect with the industries and with the colleges, we found the gaps that the students who are trained in, who are really good in their coding skills, had a larger gap in terms of the aptitude, logical reasoning, verbal ability, soft skills. And of course, the vice versa also was there. So catering to the requirements and understanding from the colleges, we designed a campus recruitment training program of 240 plus hours, wherein we curated this entire 5 subject module for all the final year students. Though it was exclusively provided for the final year engineering students, we didn't have, as there was a requirement and a request from the degree and other colleges, we also additionally gave this provision for the other learners also to participate in this. So as they participated, this program had uh, the classes from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And the students who underwent this training program had assessments, assignments given by the mentors during their learning, live mentor learning. And towards the end of the session, they were provided with iHub Divya Sampark certificate. As I told you earlier, this was packaged with the placement assistance. So students who really performed well during their assessments and their attendance was also tracked to give them the placement assistance, were moved to the placement assistance and provided with the placement assistance. Similarly, we had a larger collaboration with APSHE in providing the internships and projects program in association, and we conducted virtual minor and major projects internship program by XLR, wherein the student will be given the choice to choose 2 technology tracks, undergo a 20, that is 60 hours of training program, self-paced learning model, and post completion of this training program, the student will be awarded with a certificate. And additionally, 180 plus hours of uh, uh, the 240 plus hours of the campus recruitment training program was also given to them. So they had the complete access through the LMS. The student who would want, who is interested in learning any program, will be given the login credentials through which you have to log in and take up this training. So after my talk, of course, you would be introduced to the LMS platform, wherein you will be given the entire materials, the learning materials will be given, quizzes, question papers. Then you can also explore to the other courses which are undergoing under the XLR. So this is a little snapshot on our recent engagement of the students who underwent the internship. So close to 18,000 plus students who attended the training from various degree and engineering colleges. So close to 213 colleges participated, where 22 technology tracks were given for a 16 to 20 weeks, and they underwent this training program. So now, without any further ado, let us get into today's session. It's basics and fundamentals in DevOps. So let me introduce today's trainer. So you would be learning this concept under the guidance and mentorship of Mr. Murli Mohan Madhu, corporate trainer, senior DevOps engineer having 9+ years of experience in build, release, software configuration, SRE, ITIL, and DevOps methodology, setting up, maintaining CI and CD pipelines and delivering. And he has experience in corporate training, online teaching on AWS DevOps, Azure DevOps, DevOpsSecOps, SRE, and ITIL. Close to 5,000 plus candidates globally he has trained on DevOps. So I would request a few words from today's trainer, Mr. Murli Mohan.
Yeah, hi Nitya.
Very
Hey,
good
hi
afternoon,
everyone.
Murli.
I hope you guys can hear me right. I think I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, yes, Murli.
Basically from based out of Bangalore, we have a startup company called as the Client Technologies Private Limited, where we deal with the cloud, DevOps and DevSecOps, and MLOps and FinOps. We're gonna provide the service to the customers. It is a basically service-based company where we are dealing with the different customers, and we provide the cloud solutions to the different organizations. So right now we have 3 clients where basically we are managing the infrastructure and setting up the pipelines, and also we are trying to automate the infrastructure. Also, taking care of the MLFs in all these things. So and also we used to provide the corporate trainings. So that means the company is looking for upskilling their employees in different technologies or cloud computing or DevOps or DevSecOps or SRE. So I trained the companies like Capgemini, Publicis Sapient, the Wipro, Kingdom Technologies, Shell. So Oracle. There are 15 plus companies which I trained only on the DevOps and DevSecOps sites, and also one of the emerging technology called as the Kubernetes. It is a tool, the basically where they're going to manage their all the applications. This is my expertise, my areas of experiences, what we are doing the clearly. So it is like we have a currently a branch in a Bangalore. We don't have any other branches. We are trying to expand the business and we are trying to get the more clients. Yep. Thank you very much, Nitya.
Thank you, Murli. So before I hand over the session to your instructor, I would want Mr. Amar to take you through the LMS. So Amar from the Training Delivery Department will give you a thorough walkthrough on the LMS platform. Over to you, Amar.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I just have one comment from one student as group one is full WhatsApp group. So dear students, if you're not joined on the WhatsApp, I'm sharing the group to link with you. You can just click on that and join the group for the better communication and sharing the notification and getting the links. It will be easy for you. So I'm sharing that link. Yes, I shared. Nitya, can you please stop screen sharing? Thank you. So dear writing minds, first of all, very good afternoon and welcome to the 10 hours of student development program on DevOps. Okay. So now you have idea about the XLR. Now you just had introduction from the trainer side. Now I will just taking your 10 minutes for the quick walkthrough of the LMS. Okay. So anybody have any idea what is the full form of the LMS? Let's have some interaction. Super. Okay, I have one answer in the chat box. So this. Thank you, Sujana. Excellent. So LMS is known as the learning management system. And by using the LMS, we are going to provide you recordings of the sessions. Then you will find the material. You are able to give the attendance, and additionally, you will find the assessment as well over the LMS. And this LMS access will be with you for 365 days. It means for 1 year. Okay. So now all of you, those who are registered till today morning 11 a.m., they all are receiving an email from our site. So while checking the email, please check in the inbox. If not, try to check in the spam folder as well. Okay. So which emails I am saying about, let me show you. Okay. So these are the emails. So first email is welcome to XLR and verify your account. So dear participants, you need to verify your account first of all. Okay. So here you can see we mentioned the verification link. Click on this link to set your password. Right. If you click on this link, it will take you to the next page, and here you need to set the password. Okay. So whatever password you want, you can type it here. Same password, you can type it here. Whatever you want means it will be a completely new password. It's not like that key. Any previous account you are using, any Gmail account or any another account, it's not like that. You need to provide the password of that. Whatever new password, the combination of some characters and numbers and symbols. So as you're in the graduation, you have idea what kind of the password we need to use. So tap that password here and confirm that password. This is the very first step towards to accessing the LMS. Once you are done with this step, open the second email. As I said, you already received 2 emails from our site. Second email is a course invitation email. So here you can see, welcome to the SDP on basics and fundamentals in DevOps, right? So here we mentioned the steps. So let's go to the step by step. So click on the following link. So what we mentioned here, once you set the password, use your registered mail ID and password to log in into the dashboard. So dear students, every web app will have their own URL, right? Amazon.com, Flipkart.com, all right? So our LMS URL is onlinelearning.xlr.com. Okay, so this is the URL. If I click on this URL, it will take me to the next page, and here I have a sign-in page. So you can see, as I'm mentioning the URL, you are able to see here, and here 2-3 options are there: register, store, and sign in. As you are already registered member, you have access if you receive a mail. Okay, if you not receive, if you recently registered, you will also receive an email within 24 hours of time span. Okay, so coming to the store, I will explain you later once we are going to sign in. But now our focus is on the sign in. So let's click on the sign in. If I click on the sign in, it will take me to the next page, and here I need to provide my registered mail ID and the password. Okay, so you will say, sir, here there are 2 options, the email ID and mobile number as well. But no, we need to use the email ID only. Why? Because all of you receive a mail confirmation, and no one is received the WhatsApp confirmation or the text message. You receive an email, so you need to use the registered email ID only. Clear? Yeah, very simple. Yes. So in the password, which password you will use? Yeah, yes. So whatever password we set in the first email, that password, simple. In the future, if you feel that, okay, I need to go through this 10 hours of session again and again, I want to check that, I want to go through that recording, I need some material, right? So, and you are not remembering the password, happens. It happens because we have lots of accounts, lots of passwords, so there are chances to miss the password. So if you're not able to remember in the future, so you can forget your password, you have that option. So let's consider that now I provided my mail ID and the password. So now let me reshare my screen, and I will show you how LMS looks like and what kind of the functionalities we have in our LMS. So I'm resharing my screen. Once you provide your credentials successfully, this will land here on this beautiful dashboard. And here you can see there are 4-5 options like dashboard, classroom, assessment, store, calendar, news block. Okay, so as today you receive a mail, and even you received an WhatsApp message to join the session in the group itself, right? Tomorrow also you will receive, but it's my humble request. So try to use the LMS where we can track all these things. Okay, so if you want to join the session, so you can join via LMS itself. So we have 2 ways: Zoom and YouTube. Whatever the sessions currently we are running on the Zoom, that session is live on YouTube as well. If you're facing any difficulty, then you can use the second way as a YouTube. So you can see in the today's session tab, I have access of a couple of classroom as a member of XLR, but you are able to see one classroom access. That is the SDP on basics and fundamentals in DevOps, day 1. So here you can see the join button. Every day sharp at 1:50, the session will start from the backend. You need to click on the join button and you are able to join via Zoom. If you are facing any difficulty with the Zoom, scroll above side. Here you are able to see the banner, right? So click on that banner. And once you click on that banner, it will launch here on YouTube Live. Okay. Now, you're definitely going to join from here. See, so now if the students are facing the issue, they're pasting here and our team is replying from here itself. So whatever the queries on question or any app need to be downloaded or any attendance need to be filled or any feedback need to be filled, everything will be received in the feedback. If you're going to face any issues or difficulties, you can post in the chat box. Okay, so chat box. Now here YouTube, we have one option, live chat, right? If you click on the live chat, then directly you are able to see this and you can type it from here itself. Now, those who are watching on the YouTube, it's not required to go every day here and there for the links. You can just subscribe our YouTube channel and turn on the bell icon. Okay, for all. You will get the notification sharp at 1:50 only. Once we start the session, you will get the notification. Yes, session started and please join. Okay, like that. Now going back in the dashboard, now I will show you where you will get the recordings over the LMS and attendance and all these things. So you can see there is one option, dashboard and classroom. So on the dashboard itself, my first classroom is DevOps classroom, right? It's completely open for all of you guys. So let me click on that classroom. Once I click there, here I have 2 options, curriculum and meet. Now, first of all, go through the Meet. See, again, from here also, I am able to join the session. And if I check this week schedule, so from 9th to 13th, for next 5 days, sessions are planned and you can join the session. Okay. So this is the use of the Meet where you can check your schedule and you can join as well. Going back in the curriculum. So in the curriculum, feedback, response, agenda, session recordings, and materials. So let's go one by one. So please submit your attendance and feedback here. Let me click on that. So now you can check the one form is embedded there, but it's showing that this link will open in between 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. So dear participants, you need to fill this form. This is the attendance and feedback too. Every day you require to fill this form. This is the compulsory. And now what is the use of that? Many of you are having the doubt about the certification, right? Yes or no? So 80% attendance is required to get the certificate. I'm just repeating that 80% of attendance is required to get the certificate of participation. And for that, you need to fill this attendance link. Now, if you will ask me the questions that, sir, I just joined the session. I am late for the registration. I am not having the LMS access. No need to worry. We are there. Okay. So today you will find the attendance link in the chat box over the Zoom and YouTube as well, sharp at 3:30. Okay. Every day will share that, but I'm just requesting again, you can just use and utilize the platform which we are providing to you. Okay. So this form will be opening between 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Feel the feedbacks, whatever you are really feeling about the session, be like how the day one of the program you're enjoying, anything need to be updated like that. Okay. Below the feedback response, we have agenda option. So by today end of the day, whatever we are going to cover in the next 5 days, the agenda will be there. Session recordings. So all the session recordings will be there currently as we are going live. One of the program now it will show as a live, but from the day 1 to day 5, all the session recordings will be here. And after that, whatever the material we are going to use, so are going to use in the future, all that materials will be uploaded here for your reference. Okay. So like this, you can access the LMS and you can mark the attendance. Now, if you guys have any query or question, please go ahead, ask your questions. After 2-3 minutes, we'll start the session. Okay. Any question? So yeah, you two participants, you're asking for the link. Yes, I will share that. No need to worry. Zoom participant, any query or question? Don't raise the hand. You can post your question in the chat box. Two participants, you're okay. You not receive an email. Okay, so those who not receive the email and those who are late for the registration, no need to worry. All you will get the LMS access. Aprin, it's very simple. I will share the documents with you, okay? Good afternoon, sir. Do we have a chance to register today? At present, our students are listening your class, but they didn't register before the session start. Please give info about this. Yeah, so registration link will be shared in the chat box shortly, okay? Attendance will share, no need to worry. Send in WhatsApp. WhatsApp will rest of Zoom link and YouTube link will not share any another thing over the WhatsApp. You need to use the LMS and you need to join the session at all. Okay. Please extend the time to give the feedback. No, it's not possible. We are able to give you 1 hour only. We need to follow the time. Okay. Is this complete course? We are going to go for 10 hours, basics and fundamentals. Okay. Yes, sir. No admin. I just said that 10 hours. Good afternoon, sir. I have already an XLR account, but how to explore the DevOps session, sir? So you need to do a registration for that. You will get the access from the backend. Yeah, no problem. If you are live on YouTube or Zoom, no need to worry. Link will be shared over the Zoom and YouTube as
well. For example, 410.
Others, is that clear? Any doubt?
Okay.
Okay, super. Yes, sir, you can start with the session. So thank you so much, all of you, for listening to the LMS and all the best. Happy learning with XLR.
Hey, hi guys. Good afternoon, everyone. Could you please confirm? Are you guys able to hear me? Can I get some response in the chat? I think chat option. Okay. So I'm just trying to explaining about like what is our day-wise agenda, what you're gonna learn today, what is you're gonna learn tomorrow or day after tomorrow, like the 5 days schedule. I'm just trying to share with you all. So let me share my screen and we can just go ahead and we can start our session. Okay. Yeah. So you have to understanding about first what is DevOps. Okay, so we're gonna discussing about like what is DevOps in today's session. After that, you are understanding about like what is the cloud computing. Okay, then you are understanding about like what is the version control system. Okay, and here you're going to learning about like what is meant by Git and GitHub. In today's generation, I mean to say in today's world, so we are trying to focusing about like how we can able to container applications. Whatever the application that you're gonna accessing, like YouTube, you take about the Hotstar, you take about GeoCinemas, or you take about the Netflix, or you take about any applications in the world. All the applications right now in the world are working in the containers. So you are trying to understanding about like what is meant by the container, or also you are trying to understanding about like how we can able to deploy the application in the containers. So here you are understanding about like what is meant by Docker and how we can able to build the Docker images by using this particular Docker file. And after that, you are trying to understanding about like how we can able to deploy the application in the containers. This is what you are trying to understanding about in the Docker here. See, once we have like done with the Docker, then we are trying to understanding about like how we can able to deploy the application in the Kubernetes. So once you just try to understanding about what is Kubernetes, and you'll understanding about what is cluster, and you will understanding about like how we can able to deploy the applications in a Kubernetes clusters. Okay, this is something like which you have to understanding about like when you talk about the Kubernetes, and you will see about like how we can able to create a CI/CD pipelines by using Jenkins. This is exactly that you are learning about in the next 5 days. Okay, I'm going to say today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow, and in the 5 day finally. So the end of the day, you should understanding about like how we can able to do the CI/CD pipelines. So today, just a bit kind of theory that we have to make you understanding about like, so what is DevOps and how it is gonna work, and tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and all you are going to see about the practically will show that how the applications are going to be Dockerized, and how we can able to build the applications and how we can able to deploy the applications. That's what you're gonna discussing about in the upcoming sessions, whatever we are gonna conduct. Okay, so I think you guys are very clear about this topics, whatever we are discussing about it. So before I just want to start my session, I would like to ask the few questions, right? So how many of you guys are have heard about it, DevOps? Is there anyone knows about what is DevOps? I don't want the Google or I'm going to say about ChatGPT definitions. I just need uh, what you guys know about DevOps basically. Have you heard about it or not? If you heard about it, let me know, what is DevOps? I see the couple of responses in the chat box. Mm. It's not about combination of development plus operations. Okay. Developer plus operations. Okay. So I know you guys are current some subject. Oh, it is already included instead of tools. Okay. Like it's a combination of development plus deployment of project basically. Oh, okay. That's fine. Next, let's go with the next one. I can see that couple of responses you guys are talking about it, the methodology. It makes development operations easier by using tools like Git, Jenkins, Docker. I don't know whether you guys know really about the tools or you just randomly sending these options. That's fine. Who operates between deployment phase? Deployment phase is DevOps and then it's okay. That's fine. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Next we have to go. Okay. So thank you very much, guys. I've seen the couple of responses. I'm very happy that you guys are responding to my question. My next question is I wanted to understanding about what is the need of the DevOps. If we know that, should the answers in the chat box. My question is very simple. Why you need DevOps? I don't send again development plus operations. You guys done with that? Yeah, I'm just waiting for the responses in the chat. Control the huge traffic to get high quality product, software product, collaboration, integration, software maybe. Okay. Continuous integration, continuous deployment. Okay. Okay. So fine. Let me explaining about like what exactly DevOps and how this DevOps it is going to help you in the organizations right now in the market. So you'll understanding about what exactly and why we are going to use this particular DevOps. So I just wanted to start from the beginning to make you understanding about like what is exactly and how this is gonna work. See, for example, I am a client. I have a requirement. Let's for example, I want to delete the application right now. So I want to delete the one application. Let's for example, I got a client requirement. I want the e-commerce kind of application. Let's for example, I need some kind of applications called as a Flipkart. That means where I just need to provide the platform. This is my platform where I need to sell all my products. Sell all the products. Now this is the requirement which I got from the client. So whenever you want to develop any kind of application, first we know that we have to follow certain process. That is what we can call as a SDLC. SDLC stands for something like the software, and we can see about development life cycle, right? This is what we have to understanding about like what is exactly meant by SDLC. So SDLC stands for the software development life cycle. Now, when you go with the software development life cycle here, there are different models that is available, and we have to use any of the one of the model, and we have to develop the application. See, SDLC is basically define the structure, like how we want to develop this any kind of applications. So here, when I say about model is all about like process, the which process that we have to follow whenever you want to develop any kind of applications. So first, let's for example, nowadays is very important. Like we have the data science applications, or we can go with the AI applications, or we can go with the different applications like whatever we have. So we can just try to understanding about like the gaming applications. So whenever you want to implement any kind of applications, definitely we just need to understanding about like so how we can able to do this applications that whatever we have. So whenever I just go to this SDLC, we can see there is something it is called as a waterfall methodology, agile methodology, and so there is something it is called a spiral model, V model. So there are the many more models we can say about the methodologies that is available, and which is the basically going to help you to develop any kind of applications. The first, when I just go with the something called as a waterfall model. So when I say about waterfall model, you already studied about in the engineering subject, software engineering subject. I'm just trying to repeating once again. I'm just focus more about the disadvantages. So it is something is called waterfall model is something it is called as a methodology, which is going to follow to develop any kind of applications. When I say about waterfall methodology, it is nothing but linear, the sequential model, right? That means, so whenever you wanted to develop any kind of application, the basically we had to go with this option called as a waterfall methodology. So when I say about waterfall methodology, it is nothing but a step-by-step process. So when I say about the step-by-step process, it is all about like how we can able to go ahead and we can able to implement this application in the step-by-step process. So once we have done with this option called step-by-step process, then we have to understanding about like how we are trying to look this application. So whenever you go with this SDLC lifecycle, there are 6 phases that we have. The first one, it is something it is called as a requirements gathering. Okay, so it is what we can call as a requirements gathering. The second one, we have to go something it is called design, and third one, it is something it is called as a development phase, and the fourth one, we have to go something it is called testing phase. It is nothing but testing phase. The fifth one, we have to go something it is called deployment phase. The sixth one, what we have to go something it is called as a maintenance phase. These are the 6 phases that we have whenever you just go the any kind of software development life cycle. So now what is exactly mean by requirements gathering basically? See, when I say about requirements gathering, it is all about like, see, whenever we got the requirement here from the customer, and we have to talk to the customer and we have to get all the requirements from the client. So when I say about the client, it is not about, it is all about like customer. Okay. See, for example, we got one requirement, I think 3 weeks back, and we were connect with the client. There are several times, like 5 to 6 times we discussed. We connected and we have like collect all the requirements, like what is the user expectations, nothing but my customer expectations. Like we prepared one Excel sheet and we have draw the designs, and we collected all the requirements, like how many modules that we can able to divide this application, each and every module, what functionalities they are trying to implementing, like everything that we have like divide the modules, collect the requirements, and also we are trying to present in front of the customer, and we show them like how the flow of the diagram. See, once we have discussed about everything, this is what exactly that we can do something it is called requirements gathering. So requirements gathering is all about like how we can able to talk to the customer, how we are trying to gather the requirements, what you required for the applications. That's what we have to understanding about the something it is called requirements gathering. So once you gathered all the requirements from the client, like whom you are trying to provide the services, once we get the approval, then we go for the design. See, for example, I have a 1 acre land. I wanted to build a villa over there. So what basically that we can do, you are going to approach architect. Architect is going to ask the few details, right? Like how many bedrooms that you required, how much space that you want to give it for the playground, and how much space you have to give it for the gaming. Like you are trying to give the like information like how you want to go with the design. So once the we can say about the civil architect or civil designer, they're trying to give the complete details about like uh, how much depth that we have to give the like basement, and like how many bedrooms will come, what the square feet of air it is going to occupy, what is the living room, like they're gonna give the all details about the how they want to construct a house. That's what we have to understanding about something it is called as a design. So here design is something like a prototype of the application, I think, but they are not going to actually implement the application, but they'll just give the overall the basic overview of like how the applications are going to be looks like. So whenever I just go with the design here, you have to understanding about like what is meant by a prototype of the application. See, before you are going to before you are trying to develop any application, definitely we have to go the prototype application. That means we are trying to create a functionality like how the application flow it is going to work. So by using the Figma tool, something like that, there are some engineers like what we can call as a UI, and we have the UX engineers. So which with the basically they are trying to nothing but user interfaces, or we can say about the user experience people. This is a people where they can go ahead, they can able to see about like how they can able to design this prototype of application. So any application whenever you just try to implementing here, you have to remember the few things. You have to remember something it is called as what is meant by high level design, and what we can call it as a low level designs. So this is what we can call as a high level design, and we can say about the low level designs. So this is very important. Like once we have designed the application, like how is my home page looks like, how is my login page looks like, how is my like we can say about the models, how is looks like my models. So whenever you are trying to click on this any of the model, like how you are going to implementing those modules. That's what we have to understanding about like what is exactly mean by the designs. So once I have designed the application, then we have to understanding about like, how we can able to bring it into the reality. Let's, for example, your plan is approved by the owner for constructing a house. What are the plan which was given by the civil architect? I'm okay with it. I'm just trying to give the green signal to go and construct my house. So once you just trying to construct the house, you are not going to construct the house, right? That means you are giving this the contract to the bidder. We can say about like who is going to who is going to construct the houses, like we are trying to give it the builder. So builder is going to hide the like the masonries or uh daily wage workers, like they're gonna go with this the flow of the action, like how they want to implementing. So the same thing when I come to the software also, once we got the approval from the client regarding the design, then we had to go something it is called development phase. See what is exactly mean by a development phase and how we can able to develop the applications. So we know that we have something it is called software development team. We have something it is called as a software development team. The software development team is basically they are going to design the application, they're going to implement the applications. See, every application has to follow some technology stack, right? That means what is the front end technologies, what is the back end technologies they're going to follow, and they wanted to implementing this same kind of application the based on technologies. Let's say, for example, when I just go the front end, they can able to go with the something it is called HTML. They can go with the CSS. They can go something it is called JavaScript. So I can just go to something it is called as Angular. Like depends on the requirement. We can see they are trying to develop this particular front-end applications. The backend they can go for something it is called as a Node.js. They can go for the MongoDB, where they can able to store the data. Depends on that what kind of application that we are trying to developing. Based on that, we have to choose the technology and we have to choose the backend front-end technologies, whatever we are trying to creating. That's what we have to understanding about like something it is called as a development phase. See, once we have developed the application, this is what we can call as soul of the application. So when the developers start writing the code of each and every page, like how they wanted to get the like output, what is expecting from the designer, the same way they're going to able to write the code, and as per the code they can able to go ahead, they can able to develop the application modules and different services whatever they required. So there is something it is called testing right now. So we have to understanding about like what is exactly meant by testing. See, testing is all about like we are checking that whether we are meeting the client requirements or not. That means the client has expectations how he wanted the application, are we meeting or not, and the development team or whatever they have. So we are trying to checking that is there any kind of the faults or difficulties that they are facing, and how they can able to test the applications. Here, basically we are trying to perform something it is called as a functional test cases. This is what we can call as a functional test cases. And we can see there is something it is called as a non-functional test cases. That means whether all the functionalities, whatever they implemented with the software development team, so whether all the functionalities are working properly or not, they're going to check something it is called as a functional test cases. So whenever you just go with something, it is called as a non-functional test cases. So it is all about like you have to understanding about like what is exactly mean by non-functional test cases. Non-functional test cases is all about like they conduct something it is called sanity testing, or we can they go with the regression testing, and they can go something it is called as a test testing, and they can go with this option called as a cross-platform testing, sanity testing. So they are trying to checking all the test cases, the possibility, and they'll check about whether application is working properly or not. That is what exactly that we have to understanding about something it is called as a testing here. So once testing it is done, then we have to go something it is called as a deployment of the application. So when I say deployment, it is all about like you have to understanding about like so how we can able to deploy the applications and where you want to deploy the applications. I'm just trying to deploy the applications. I'm just trying to deploy the applications where inside the servers. Now, where is my servers is basically available. All my servers are available inside the cloud. That's what we have to understanding about, right? That means my servers right now it is available in the cloud. Depends on the client whether you want to deploy the application on premises or whether you want to deploy the applications on the cloud platform. Like where you want to deploy the application. That's what we have to understanding about the deployment. See, deployment is very simple. Deployment is nothing but the process of installing the application over the executable environment. That is what we can call as a deployment. So in other words, if you want understanding about something like what is deployment, so deployment is nothing but the process of installing applications on the server. That is what we have to understanding about like something it is called as a what is mean by a deployment phase. So next we have to go with the maintenance. Maintenance is very, very important. It is not about the focusing about deployments, right? See, once you deploy applications, you also need to understanding about like how we can able to manage the applications. That means like, let's for example, when I deploy the application, the server, if my application goes for live, so whenever the customers are facing like any kind of issues, like whom they're gonna contact, that is what we have to understanding about maintenance phase, or we can say about the operation space. So who is going to maintain applications? If you're monitor applications, where you going to monitor applications? Like for example, if my server resource like CPU, memory, the storage resources, how much do you require? So who is going to manage all those things and how we can able to get the informations? That all the things is comes under the option name. It is something it is called as a maintenance phase. Maintenance is one of the very important phase of the application that we had to understanding about like how we are trying to maintain the applications. Let's for example, if I'm a manufacturing about the washing machines, which I'm just trying to deliver to the customers. Once I deliver the product to the customers, then we have to understanding about like so how we are trying to provide the customer support. Let's for example, if the customer facing issues, how we can resolve it. And let's for example, if the customer is like facing issue with the drum, issue with the mission, like there are different problems that we're gonna get it for each and every product. At the end of the day, it is all about like how we are trying to manage the problems which the customers are facing. That's where your product is going to become very popular. So because you have the understanding about like how we can able to resolve those issues, how what kind of services that we can provide to the customers, or we can say about the like who are coming to purchase your product. The same thing that we comes to the like the software also, we have to understanding about like something called maintenance. See, maintenance is all about like what is about the monitoring. So it is all about like how much CPU utilization, what is the RAM utilizations, and also you have to understanding about logs, traces, which is comes under the option called as observability here. So this is the options that we have, and we just need to understanding about like how we are trying to maintain this all the options together. That's where we have to understanding about something it is called as a maintenance phase. Now these are 6 phases should be mandatory, and each and every product whenever you are going to develop any product. So we can see there is something it is called as a methodologies, right? So you know that process right now. I mean to say you know about the phases, but I don't know about from where I need to start. That means do I need to start from the design, or do I need to start from development, or do I need to start from testing, or do I need to start for deployment? Like where I need to or when I need to start it. That's where we have to understanding about the phases. That's the reason we need something. It is called we need something. It is called as a what we can say about the process or methodology, a guide from where I need to start, how I need to start, which model I need to pick first. Like everything that we have to start from the beginning, right? So that is the reason. Whenever you just go to waterfall methodology, it is nothing but a step-by-step process. That means first I have to go with the waterfall methodology. In that, go with the requirements gathering, go with the design. Then they will go with this called the deployment development phase. Then we have to go something here called testing phase. Then you are going for something called like deployment phase, maintenance phase. This is the reason why we had to call it as like it is a linear sequence mode, because it is going to follow the step-by-step process. For example, if we go to any waterfall, if you look at the how is water is flowing, the water is always flow from top to bottom, right? The same thing that we are going to do it with help of this option name, it is called as a waterfall methodology also. But I want to focus more about disadvantages so that you'll get a conclusion like why we have to go actually DevOps here. So I want to go with this option called as a what is exactly the disadvantages. So this waterfall methodology is basically doesn't suit for the like huge scale applications. Like for example, I can say about it is going to fit for small applications, but it doesn't fit for the larger applications. This is first when we have to understanding about it is only for the smaller applications. Okay, so when I go with this option called small applications, it is all about like small scale applications, not say big scale. Like for example, talk about like big scale, where it is has a huge scope for the customers. Like where, for example, if we go to the e-commerce, if we go with the restaurant applications, if we go to the another application, definitely we just need to be understanding about like how this is going to be like bigger applications. Then we have to go second option, like the problem, we can say disadvantages like if you want to add any requirement between the development phase, so we can't able to do that. That means here it won't accept the changes. It won't accept the changes. This is what we have to understanding about like something it is called waterfall methodologies. So then we have to go with the third option, like we just need to understanding about like what is the third option, like here what are third disadvantages. So it is the basically we are not managing all resources properly here. So when I say about resources, it is all about my employees, which those who are working with me as a team, that we have to understanding about like how we are trying to managing all your resources. You have the software development team, you have software testing team, you have operations team. How we are trying to managing this all the resources. I'll tell you what is exactly mean by the how we are not. I mean to say utilization is not properly here. Utilization is if we just go to here, utilization we have to understanding about not properly. So we just need to understanding about like how we can able to go ahead and we can see about like what is the thoughts or how we are trying to not utilizing resource properly here. That means see for example, I have employees. If the employees are working fine, and if we go with this waterfall methodology, first we have to understanding about dependency, right? That means a designing team is depending on requirements gathering team. See, once we gathered all the requirements, then only I go for design. So once we have done with this option called as a design, then only we go for deployment phase. That means deployment team literally waiting for the approval from the design team, and testing team is depending on deployment team depending on testing team, and maintenance team depending on deployment team here. So here dependency between each and every team, it is too much. So by the time you have a lot of backlogs, which you have to develop the application, and we had to go ahead. So here, the first one is resource utilization not properly is happening. And the fourth option, like we just need to understanding about like fourth option is nothing but a dependency here. That means uh, dependency. The biggest disadvantages when I talk about like, see, for example, I'm just taking the 1 year to complete this product. But by the time already the changes are happening, many changes that we have to do it again because the customers, the needs are going to be changed every day rapidly. You see, for example, you have the Zomato, you have Uber Eats, but right now there is like Big Basket is a grocery delivery application that we have. But why Juptate is very popular right nowadays in the market? Because it is taking very less amount of time rather than compared to other option, other delivery application that we have. Nowadays, I can see the Big Basket is also trying to do the advertisement for the like 10 minutes we are going to deliver the application or a product whatever they require in 10 minutes. That's all the promises they are going to give it to the customers. They're trying to fulfill this the promises whatever they give it to the customers. That is the reason it is like it is their customers are not bothering about the money. They are bothering about only about the time. So how much time they are taking to deliver the particular product? That's what we have to understanding about something. It is called dependency here. And the fifth one, it is something. It is called as a. You have to understanding about one of the biggest disadvantages. Like, see, once we have tested the application, before you deploy the application in the production environment, there is something called the UAT environment. We have dev environment, we have a test environment, UAT environment, and production environment. If I wanted to deploy the application, I want to provide the access to the customers. Definitely, I wanted to go and I can deliver the application in the production environment. So, but right now we have to understanding about like how we are trying to managing the all these applications that whatever we have. That's the reason. So what we can do, we have to go something. It is called as a alternative. But means how faster you are going to deliver the application, because I don't want the changes are happening in my application, the requirement changes. What are the customer it is giving to me that is fixed, that how we are trying to deliver the application, whatever we are trying to discussing about it. Let's where we have to go with these options right now. So here, what we can call it as a review of the project. So once we have developed the application, then we go for the review. See, when you go for the review, then you are trying to explaining to the customer what you are trying to achieve there. But if the customer is not satisfied with some of the functionalities, what you implemented, then what you can do that. That's where we have to understanding about something called as a review comes in your mind. That means we had to plan the product accordingly, and we can release the product in the market. So here we are going for end of the training, end of the project. The time the customer is coming back with the changes, again we had to go from the beginning. I hope so far understood everyone. Could you please confirm in the chat? Is it clear? If you guys clear, could you please? Yes, that's great. Yeah. Okay. Next, to overcome these disadvantages, whatever we have. So how we are trying to manage. That's what we are trying to understanding right now. What are the disadvantages that we have discussed? To overcome disadvantages, there is other methodology that we are going to have. Something it is what we can call as a agile methodology. So you have to understanding about like what is meant by agile methodology and why we have to go with this agile methodology. Can someone could you please post your responses in the chat box about what is agile?
Yeah, I can see the couple of responses in the chat. Amy's customer satisfaction, that's wonderful point, which I like it. Azure is used to use software improvement, software development here. Yeah. So let me try to explaining about like what is exactly mean by agile and why we had to go with this something it is called as agile methodologies. So here, when you say about like agile methodology, it is like iterative model, right? That means here, the first we have to understand the problem. We are going to break down the problem into the small tasks. That means when I just go with this option called a Flipkart application, the Flipkart application has to divide into the different modules. So let's say, for example, something it is called as a end user is one module, and we can see something it is called as a the catalog is one module. We can just go with something it is called as a cart is one module, and we can see about the payment model is one module, and we can just look at here. There's something it is called as a order status is one module. So this application is completely divided into the different modules. That means every application has divided into a number of modules. So each and every module we are going to implementing in different sprint. That means, for example, so here in Agile there are two things are very popular. The first one, what we can call sprint. Right now in the all the organizations, 95% of the all the organizations are using something it is called Agile methodology. So you have to understanding about why the companies are going for the Agile methodologies. So they are going to use something called sprint, and there is something called a scrum here. So what is exactly meant by sprint and why we have to go with the sprint here? See, when I say something, it is called sprint now. Here, sprint, what we can call it as something like time period. Say, for example, in the sprint one, I'm just going to decided to implement something it is called as the end user model. So here, the sprint one, we decided to go with the end user model. The max to max sprint, it is something like 1 week to 4 weeks of time here. That means this is what we can call as a maximum sprint duration. So when I say about sprint is nothing but time or duration, like within how much time that you are going to complete this particular project. That's what we have to understanding about something it is called as a time period. So when I go with this, something is called as a, like in a sprint, we are going with the first one called end user model. So once we have implemented the end user model, next we have to go with the something it is called catalog here. See, what is the best thing when you talk about something called sprint means? So in the sprint, like whenever you talk about like sprint here, something we are going to follow the something it is called as iterative model. So when I say about like iterative, it is all about like, first, if the client is come up with any changes that we are trying to go ahead and we are trying to implement in the same changes. And again, we are going for the client review here. So each and every sprint, there is something is called a client review. So we are going to showcase to the client what we have implemented. And if he would like to tell some changes and all, again, we are coming back and we are trying to make the changes here. Look at this my diagram here so that you'll understanding about like how the sprint it is going to work here. We can see about the first we had to go with the design, then we had to go with the development phase, then we had to go with the testing phase, then we had to go with the deployment, then we got to go for review. So here, every sprint, if you just observe here, there's something called sprint here. So we go for planning, we go for designing, we go for development, then we go for testing, deployment, before you are going to launch the release. When I say about the release or launch, both are same. So I'm just trying to launch in this version in a market. Definitely we have to go something it is called launch, right? That means we are trying to understanding about like how we can able to launch the product. That's what we have to understanding about the launch. So in the sprint two again, once I done with the individual model, then we go with the login model, or when I go with this something called model or catalog model. So like we just need to understanding about like how we can able to go with this like model by model here. So we go with the planning, then we go for designing, then we go for development phase, then we go for testing phase, then we go for a deployment, then we go for review here. So like that, you have to understanding about like each and every sprint, like sprint one, sprint two. You have to understanding about like how we can able to understanding about something it is called as a implemented the application. So once we have go with the sprint here, see it is basically why we go for every time review means it is basically focusing on the customer satisfaction. That means we have to understanding about like how we can able to satisfy your customer, because if the customer is satisfied, you're gonna get the we are gonna get the something it is called as a different business. That's where we are to always focus on the customer satisfaction. The customer is got satisfied, you're gonna get the different business. That's the reason we had to focusing about the customer satisfaction. Now once we have done this part, then we can see there is something it is called as Scrum here. Like what is exactly meant by Scrum? So when I say about Scrum, it is all about like there is a Scrum Master which is like acting as a mediator between project head and team employees, and he is a guy who is going to conduct every morning stand-up meetings and is what we can call Scrum meetings. He's trying to make understanding about like how is going my application, is there a kind of blockage, or how we can able to implementing this all the things is going to taking care by the something it is called as the end user. So we have to understanding about like what is mean by Scrum Master. Scrum Master, it is nothing but basically going to provide the updates to about the project. How he is going to make sure bring everyone the same platform to understanding about like what's going wrong and what's going smoother, and if there is any stuck up or any hotspot, they're trying to address the hotspots and trying to make a smoother way to go these options right now. That's what we have to understanding about something it is called as a what we can call Scrum Master. He is playing a very crucial role. Every application has someone called as a every application there's someone it is called as a what we can call sprint, and we can see something called Scrum Master. So this is very important that we have to understanding about like what is meant by sprint and what we is exactly mean by something it is called as a sprint and a Scrum Master. So now, then what is the need of the DevOps? You have everything is going smoother, right? You have the iterative model in this agile. You are going to keep working on the same product until you're going to get this particular done, right? But why we have to go with the DevOps? What is the relation to this SDLC to DevOps? That's where you are trying to understanding right now. So here I'm just going to divide this whole IT industry into this what we can call the teams. So there are two teams basically going to existed in this particular market. There is something it is called as a dev team. There is something it is called as an operations team. You have to understanding about very clearly one by one. Now we have just came to very closer to get a conclusion to make you understanding about like what is exactly mean by DevOps. So there is something it is called as a development team. This is what we can call as a development team, and here there is something it is called as a what we can say about the operations team. So when I say about the operations team here, so what is the roles and responsibilities of a development team? See, development team is the basically they go for the analysis. They go for the analysis. Then they go for something it is called design. Then they go for something it is called as a development phase. Okay. Let me go with the development phase. Then once we are done with development phase, then we go for testing phase. So once we have done with the testing phase, then we go with this operations. See, operations team is basically looking for the infrastructure. That means whenever you develop any kind of application, this could be like a gaming applications or big data applications or retail application or commerce application or insurance domain or banking domain. You take about the any kind of domain, what is the application which you have to develop. So here we can see that I want to go with this infra. Once infrastructure is done, then we are trying to deploy the application. So here they will just majorly focusing about the infrastructure deployments, and they'll taking care of the backups. They'll try to make you understanding about the monitoring. See, whenever you go to any organizations, there are four things that we have to do it very, very smoother, right? That means we just need to understanding about like what is a smooth earth. Like for example, we can just go to this option. First, I wanna go. First one is nothing but fast delivery. Why Jepta is very popular? Because of the fast delivery. That means they are going to deliver the applications as soon as possible. That is the reason we just need to understanding about the like how we can able to go with the fast delivery. So next we have to go to the something it is called as a higher quality, because that doesn't mean that you're powering the application faster ways. That doesn't mean that you don't want to do cut short this quality here. So we had to go something it is called as a higher quality. So let's go to here. Then we had to go with third option, like we had to go with the fast delivery, higher quality, and the third one is something like we had to go with the lesser spending here. That means I had to spend less amount of money, but I want to get the quality of the product. I want to get it within the time here, because everything is something like interlinked here. And when you just go the fourth one, it is nothing but availability of the application. That means my application should available to the customer at any point of time. It is nothing but 2027. My application has to be available. If you want to achieve this, what we can do? Now we can see there is a software development team, operation team, right? Now we know about their responsibilities. Software development team is basically go for the analysis, they go for the design, they go for the development phase, they go for testing phase. So when I just go with this option called as operations team, they'll be focusing about the infra, they'll be focusing about the deployment, and they'll be focusing about the backup and the monitoring here. That's where we have to understanding about like those two things, right? But why can't we achieve these things? Why can't we achieve these things? That's where we have to understanding about it. That is the reason there is something it is called as a portability of the application. What is meant by portability of the application means, say once you guys are done with your college, you're probably coming and joining the software organizations, right? There are four environments that basically you wanted to get it. See, the moment when you go to any online, if you hit flipkart.com, amazon.in, or netflix.com, hotstar.com, so whenever you are going to hit the URL, you are getting some response, right? So how we are getting this response? There is everything will taking care by these particular people, something it is called as a dev environment, there's a test environment, there is EAT environment, there is something called production environment. See, our life cycle when you're going to join a DevOps engineer, your life is roaming around this particular four environments like dev, test, UAT, and the production environment. See, testing environment where testers actually test the application, they'll check about the all the functionalities, other stuff like it is working properly or not. So when you go something called as testing, nothing but how the application is working fine, if the application working properly or not. So everything it is they're gonna check when is something is called testing here. So there is something it is called EAT environment. So what is exactly mean by EAT environment? It is all about like user acceptance test. That means whatever the application which we have tested, this application should give to go to replica of the customer. That means that we're going to show to the customer and we'll tell that this is how your application is going to be working. These are the functionalities that we have implemented. Are we good to go? Can we release this application to the production environment so that my customers can able to access the application? That's where we have to understanding about the dev environment, test environment. There is something called EAT environment. There is a production environment. This is the four environments that we have. So, but here, let's say, for example, my software development team has written the code. They tested this application on their mission. The time it is working properly, thus everything is going smoother and it's working very smoother. But now the same application they have sent this particular operation team, asked them to deploy the application in the production environment. They have done with all the test cases. They have done with test cases. It's working, everything is fine. But now it's time to deploy the application, right? So how we can do that? How we can able to deploy the applications inside this deployment phase? So now operations team, when they're trying to deploy the applications, what is happening is basically nothing but my application doesn't work properly in the production environment. You may ask, sir, it is the same code, right? What they tested, but why it is not able to deploy the application the servers in the production servers? Because first, every project contains the software development code, contains dependencies, contains library files. Once we installed all the dependencies, once we install all the plugins, then only we can able to deploy this application inside my inside my the production servers. That's where how my application is going to work. But here, some dependencies are missing, some plugins are missing. The particular application is not able to deploy in the production environment. That time, this operation team is trying to send the request to software development team. They were telling like, boss, this is a problem that we are facing. Can you please help me on that? When I just go with this option called a software development team. So again, the software development team, they're gonna recheck all the functionalities, and they're going to perform testing again. When they check the testing again, it's working fine. But then what is the issue again? They'll tell that, hey, it's not working fine in my mission, but there is some issue with your mission. Could you please check all there? Again, the software development team intimate to operation team. Operation team will tell that no, boss, there is a problem from your end. Please check it out. See, there is a blaming between these two teams, right? It's not happening deployment smoother, but my deadline is coming very near. I want to answer to my a team. I want to answer to the customer. But what is this exactly? See, portability of the application means once you just create a package, the application could be deployed at any point of time anywhere without depending on the platform which they want it. That means we have to create template where the template contains all the source code, all dependencies, whatever the required to run the application, all the specific things which required, or we can see about the everything should be required inside my template. So that's where we have to understanding about the how we can able to create the portability of the application. See, for example, in this case, what are the challenges will taking care by the development team? What are the challenges will face with the operation team? See, development team is basically focusing about the sprint time period. See, for example, this weekend is my sprint. I have developed the code, but I didn't know that the application code is working production environment or not. If it is not working fine, again, I have to do make some changes. I'll tell you one reason. Saturday actually we migrated one application from the Azure cloud to the Azure cloud, different subscription. Whatever the existing application working fine, everything. But when we are trying to migrate to new subscription, there are some functionalities not working properly. So we check the logs. We identify about there is a backend connection timed out. The backend connection issues are coming, and we just told the software development team, boss, this is a problem. You first fix that, then we can able to come in the picture, and we can able to take it forward, and we can able to deploy the application. See, that means this is a problem that we are going to face. I want to create something it is called as the portability of the application. That means without worrying about any platform, I want to run my application wherever I want. That's where we just need to understanding about all these options, whatever we want. So now development team will waiting for the code testing and checking for the whether the application is deploying properly or not. So that means by the time the tasks are going to be increased, I want to complete the tasks whatever which already assigned my team. That's the reason we just need to understanding about like how we can able to go with this. That means one is waiting time it is going to be increasing, and the backlogs are going to be increasing. It is very feel burden. That means we are feeling very burdened to complete this application whatever we are giving within the time frame. That's what we have to understanding about like how we can able to minimize that. So how we can able to minimize that application time period whatever we have. There is something it is called as a development here. Now there is a options, we have something it is called as operations. What is the problems that we face the operations? So whenever I want to deploy the application, first I need to set the infrastructure. When I say about infrastructure means I need the networking, I need the storage, I need networking, I need the servers. So the complete databases, the complete everything that I require. So I want to deploy the applications, whatever I want. That's what we have to understanding about something it is called as the difficulties which facing by the both infrastructure. So like this is a problems that we're gonna face. And for example, you have the server. Let's for example application running on 100 servers. That means how we can able to, yeah. So how you are going to manage or how we can able to monitor the applications. That's what we have to understanding about something it is called as a operation team challenges. So whatever you're discussing about everything, you have to understanding about like how we can able to resolve, how we can able to resolve all the errors whatever we discussed about it. That's where there is something it is called as a DevOps came into the market. What is exactly mean by DevOps? How the DevOps is gonna work? See, DevOps is not is all about the software development plus operations. No, it is something beyond that. See, DevOps is all about it is a methodology. It is a process which we are going to follow to increase the productivity of the application and to provide the higher quality, and we are going to spend less amount of money, and we are going to make sure the application works 24/7. Whatever we discuss about the problems everything it is going to what we can say about the clear by this something called DevOps is here. So when I say about DevOps is what we can say about like it is what we can call as a methodology. It is a set of tools. Okay, that's what we have to understanding about like what is mean by DevOps. So DevOps is nothing but it is a culture, it is a philosophy, methodology, or we can say about it is advanced to the agile methodology, where we are basically focusing about the solving three things, the major problems. Apart from this, there are three things that we have to focus. There's something it is called as a communication. So if the communication happen very smoother between these two teams, rest everything is goes very smoother. That is the reason DevOps is going to focus more about the communications. The next, we had to go something it is called as a collaborations. What is exactly mean by the collaboration? So when I say about the collaboration, like how we can able to team work with the one team to other team here. Then third problem is that something it is called as automation. Why DevOps engineers are getting more salaries compared to other teams means because of this reason. Because we are going to automate everything. That means right from the beginning until the deployment, till the monitoring, everything that we are going to write scripts and we can able to automate the complete DevOps. So this is like what is exactly mean by DevOps? So DevOps is nothing but a methodology. It is a philosophy, set of practices, set of tools that we are going to use to improve the organization able to deliver the application faster phase. That is the reason we had to go and we are trying to studying about something it is called DevOps, one of the hot topic in the market. So if you just look at the definition, what exactly DevOps is telling about it. So look at this definition. It is a culture, philosophy, set of tools, set of practices that integrate the software development plus operation process. And we can see about like, it is a combination of word called as a dev. And there is something it is called as a operations here. That is how DevOps is basically going to help you to deliver the business. Why basically DevOps is basically came into the market to deliver the high quality products in a faster, respond to market demands quickly, stay competitive, and involves very quickly here. That means you have to respond to your customer needs more effectively. That means whenever the customer needed your help, so you had to able to provide the right amount of time in the right geographications. That's what we have to understanding about like how DevOps is going to work. So DevOps is basically going to help to business deliver the high quality products in the faster phase, and we have to respond to the demands as per the market quickly, and we are trying to go the stay competitive, innovative quickly, and respond to the customer needs more effectively here. That's where we have to understanding about something it is called as a how DevOps is coming to the market. So this is exactly what is DevOps. So if you guys are clear, I'm just going to explaining about like, so how we are going to create the automations, like you are going to understanding about it. Could you please shoot your answers, questions in the chat box. I can see that couple of responses in the chart. Yeah. Now I'm just trying to explaining about like how we can able to go with the DevOps. Whenever I talk about like DevOps, what exactly that we can do that? See, look at this my screen. So for example, what we can do with the DevOps here. Our job is going to start from the software development. So we are not going to write any code. First, what we can say. See, now first we have to understanding about the software development team. Let's go with here. When I talk about like users, this is nothing but my software development team. Let's assume that. So when the software development team trying to push the code, I'm going to say whenever the software development team write the code, we need a platform where we can able to store the code. So where we can able to store the code is always going to store inside the repositories. It is nothing but there is something it is called GitHub repository. What we can call it as nothing but my GitHub is what you can call it as a source code management tool, which we have to understanding about like SCM. So SCM stands for the, when I say about SCM, it is something it is called as a source code management tool, where basically you are trying to write the code and we can able to store the code in this particular source code management tools. Now, like we have the GitHub repository. See, GitHub is nothing but it is a service which is going to provide by the Microsoft. It is a cloud-based service where we can able to store all the code in the GitHub repository. Once you store all the code in the GitHub repository, my software development team, they can work from anywhere, right? Some people sitting on the Bangalore location, some people are sitting in the Singapore location, some people are sitting on the US. But whenever they write a code, the code is available in my local machines. But how can I share my code with my colleague or my other team or my DevOps team? It is that's where we have to understanding about cloud platforms required. You name it like GitHub, you name it something it is called Bitbucket, you name it something it is called GitLab. There are many code repositories available in the market. When I go with this GitHub, is one of the open source. When I say about open source, is nothing but it's a free of cost. It is a free of cost where we can able to write the code and we can able to push the code in the GitHub repository and we can store the code in the GitHub repository. See, once you store the code in the GitHub repository, then what we can do that we have to go something it is called as a now we have to check the code quality, because nowadays you guys are very smart, right? When I was just giving a problem statement, you guys will go ahead and will get the code from the chat GPT or Devin or Gemini or go with the Copilot. You will go with the different AI tools and you're trying to get all the code. That means you're going to use some prompt engineering and you're going to get the code. But I don't know about like, I don't know about like, so how we can able to, how we are trying to get this particular, the code quality. So when you're getting the code, but also we should understanding about like, and we just need to understanding about how the code is very secure. That's what we have to understanding about like how we can able to check the code quality. See, whenever I want to check the code quality, there is very important tool. There is something it is called as a, yeah, there is something it is called as a a SonarCube server. If we have 1 million lines of code, or if we have 100 millions of lines of code, whatever we have, it doesn't matter. But I want to check the code quality. So how do you going to check the code quality? That's where we just need to understanding about like checking the code quality. Checking the code quality is one of the very important factor or aspects that we just need to understanding about like how we can able to check the quality. The security is very, very important nowadays in the market. So we just need to understanding about like how we are going to secure your application, whatever we have. That's the reason only we had to go something it is called as a code quality. So whenever I just go ahead here, I want to check the code quality. The very important point is like how we can able to check it. So there is a tool. The tool name it is called SonarCube server. So whenever you install the SonarCube server, it has a predefined rule set. If you write a code in Java, you write a code in Python, you write code in even just name it any programming languages. It supports 39 programming languages. 39 programming languages. Now, once we have the code quality, we're going to check here. Then how we can do that? So whenever you check the code quality, then we can just try to understanding about like, so how we can able to build your package. Because the code, whatever we have written, I can't deploy the code inside my server, right? That means you have to build the package. Like, for example, you want to install some software and you mentioned you are trying to download .exe files, .msc file. It is all about the code. That means we have to create something called deliverables, what we can call executable packages. That's where we have to understanding about something it is called as a we have to understanding about something called as how we can able to build the Docker images. Now, nowadays, we are trying to Dockerizing all the applications, whatever we have. So you are trying to understanding about like how we can able to Dockerize the application. I mean, say Docker images going to deploy it in a container. Don't worry about it. In the coming sessions, you'll talk about like, what is Docker, what is code quality, what is GitHub. The everything that we are trying to explaining about like to make you understanding about how this is going to work. Right now, we will talk about like Docker. It is basically solve two problems. One is nothing but portability of the application. One is nothing but resource utilizations. That's the reason Docker is one of the most popular tool in the DevOps. See, if you go to any of the LinkedIn profile, you just, let's for example, if I'm just go with the LinkedIn profile, if you just open the jobs, there is something it is called jobs, right? See, for example, if you just go with the jobs, and here, if you search for the senior, let's for example, go with this any profile, any job description. Definitely, every job description contains something it is called Docker and Kubernetes. You see that there is a tool Terraform, CI/CD pipelines, and we can see about they're just the focusing more about it, like uh, about the Docker and Kubernetes. If we just go to this option, again, if you go to the job description here, we can see about it. Like this is what is the experience skill set. And if you come down, what is the requirement basically? When you just go with the requirement, we can see that the basically they required the people who is very good experiencing on the CI/CD, and also the people who are very good at the Docker Kubernetes. See, you take about n number of job descriptions, whatever we have. So, but definitely every company, they are looking for the people who are a very good understanding about the cloud, a very good understanding about the DevOps tools, and in that, a very good understanding about the containerizations, like how we are trying to create a containers, how we can able to Dockerize applications, how we can deploy the applications inside the Kubernetes platform. You take about YouTube application, you take about your Azure Cinemas, you take about any application. See, all these applications are going to be deployed inside the Kubernetes platform. They're going to managing their all applications inside the Kubernetes platform. That's the reason you just need to understanding about like how this Docker it is going to work. So Docker it is going to focusing on two things. One is nothing but the containerizations, and it is going to resolve the portability of lab. Once you have build a Docker image, this Docker image we can run irrespective of any of the platform. You want to run the application in Ubuntu platform, you want to run the application on the Dotnet platform, sorry, Ubuntu platform, Windows platform, Red Hat platform. So which are the platform that you want to deploy the application, we can go ahead and we can deploy without worrying about your application code, without worrying about your dependencies, without worrying about the anything, whatever you requires. That's where we have to understanding about like how this Docker it is going to help. So Docker is what we can say, what we can call as a the containment tools, which is basically going to help you to build your containers and going to help you that how we can able to deploy the application, the containers. Now, once we have done with this option here, then we are trying to understanding about like how we can able to manage the application. So whenever you want to manage the application, or we can just deploy and manage the application, there is something is called Kubernetes. So Kubernetes is one of the containment tool in the market. You name it, any of the Google applications, you take about Google Maps, you take about the Gmail, you take about the YouTube application, you take about any product which released by the Google, all the products are working in the Kubernetes platform. That's the reason Kubernetes is one of the major the containment tool. That means once you deploy the application at Kubernetes platform, you are not going to get any application downtime. That means I don't want my applications to be down. I want my application to be up and work all the time. That's the reason we just need to understanding about like how this Kubernetes is going to help with that. So here the Kubernetes having a feature called self-healing, auto scaling, load balancing, and whatever the features that require to keep your application running, that everything it is going to manage something it is by the Kubernetes. So once you have deployed the application, then you have to understanding about like how we can able to check whether application working properly or not. So how we can check that whether application is running properly or not, and we just need to understanding about like how much CPU utilizations, how much memory utilizations, how much traffic it is coming in, coming out. If you want to understanding about all these things, there is something it is called as a monitoring it setup. When I say about monitoring, it is all about like how we can able to monitor applications. So what's going on in your application, if you want to understand, there is something it is called as a monitoring tools. So there are different tools are there in the market. There is something it is called as a Prometheus. There is something called Prometheus. There is something called Grafana. This all the tools are basically going to help you with the monitoring. Now, whatever you do right now, this is nothing but manual process. If you want to automate the complete structure, so how do you going to set up the complete pipelines? That's where we have to understanding about something it is called Jenkins. So Jenkins is basically what we can do. It is going to create something called CI/CD pipelines. A CI/CD stands for a continuous integration, continuous delivery, or we can say about continuous deployment. That's where we have to understanding about like what is mean by a CI/CD. So the first we have to understanding about like how to integrate these tools with the Jenkins. I want to integrate GitHub with the Jenkins. I want to integrate SonarQube with the Jenkins. It's the only one-time activity. The moment when the software development team has committed the code, my Jenkins will pull that code automatically. It is going to send the code for code quality. It is going to send the code for building a Docker image. It is going to deploy the application inside the Kubernetes, and it is going to monitor the applications. Everything that I can able to achieve with help of this particular pipelines. This pipeline we're going to show you in the upcoming sessions. We'll show you that how we can able to set up the pipeline, how we can able to perform the continuous. See, whenever I say about the continuous, is all about like because the software development team every day they'll write a code. Every day they can write the code, they can commit the code. The moment when the commit occurs in my code, that we have to understanding about like how we can able to go with these options right now. So that's where we have to go with this option like um, this we have to go with these options right now. So this is exactly that you are trying to setting up the pipelines, nothing but CI/CD pipelines, continuous integration, continuous delivery, or we can say about the continuous deployments. So when I say about continuous delivery deployment, is all about like, so how we can able to deliver the application to the client, how we can able to deploy the application to the in the server. That's where we just need to understanding about this continuous what we can say about the continuous integration. We can say about continuous delivery deployment with the Jenkins, that we can able to follow that, or we can achieve the 7 Cs. When I say about 7 Cs, is all about like a continuous integration, continuous delivery deployment, a continuous feedback, continuous improvement, continuous testing. Like that, there are 7 Cs that we can able to achieve with help of this particular what we can call DevOps. This is exactly that we have to understanding about like how we can able to automate by using something is called DevOps tools. Anyone have any questions right now? You guys completely understood about why we have to go with the DevOps? If you have any questions, you can shoot in the chat box. I'll take your questions from there. See, monitoring is all about, like, for example, we deploy the application to the server. We don't know about what's going inside the server. For example, one patient has severe heart attack. We don't know what is the pulse. We don't know about what is the heartbeat. If you take him like a hospital, there is something called ICU. You will just put it in ICU where we can see the monitoring dashboards, where we can see about oxygen levels, where we can see pulse check, we can see about the heartbeat, all these things that we can able to check, right? The same thing, whenever you deploy the application in the server, you just need to understanding about like how your application is working fine, whether the application working properly or not. If the application is not working properly, then how we can able to manage the application, like how much CPU is utilizing, what is memory utilizations, and what is the networking traffic, and what is the logs, and how we can able to manage your logs, that everything that you're trying to go ahead and you're trying to keeping this all the things. That's where we just need to understanding about something it is called as a monitoring. It is playing a very crucial role nowadays because every application required monitoring. So I want to understanding about like how my application is working. That's the reason we have to go with this monitoring. Okay. There is no deployment platforms like, virtual render. There is something it is called as a completely different. You are deploying the applications in the cloud platform right now, and you have to make sure your application is work 24/7. You don't want to get the application downtime. There is something called self-healing is required. Even though one of my services goes down, I want to make sure my application run 24/7 without having any application downtime. When the traffic it is increasing, I need to perform the scale up and scale down. When the traffic is decreasing, I want to remove this idle servers, whatever we have created. That means we have to think in the perspective of the cost and traffic and availability of the application. That's where we have to go something it is called Kubernetes. There's separate sessions. We have a Kubernetes. So Kubernetes, what we can call as a container management tool. So it is going to manage your containers without having any application downtime. There is something called self-healing, auto-scaling, load balancing, platform independent. So all these things will taken care by the Kubernetes. That's the reason Kubernetes is one of the very popular tool in the market. I'm just waiting for your questions. Terraform is something like ISA tool. ISA stands for the infrastructure as a code. Whenever I want to automate the infrastructure, that means if I want to create network storage, the servers and the clusters, everything, definitely I don't want to do it manually. I want to do it automation. That's the reason we have to go something called Terraform. So Terraform is different, and this is very different. Both are completely different, guys. Then thank you very much, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll start it.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, so dear students, I shared the attendance link and feedback link in the chat box over the Zoom and YouTube. I hope everybody marked their attendance and shared the feedback. If not, I'm sharing that attendance once again. Please mark your attendance and share your valuable feedback. Because again, for certification as well, attendance is mandatory. Okay, so without attending session and not marking the attendance, you will be not eligible for certificate. Present sir, saying present sir will be not mark your attendance. Please find the link in the chat box, click on that and fill that attendance. Okay, so as per my understanding, just I get to know that a few of the students are directly sitting in the classroom and they're attending the class, so they don't have laptop or system in front of them. So for that, I'm sharing my screen and I'm showing the attendance QR code. Okay, so those who are directly sitting in the classroom itself and not having laptop or in front of them, you guys can scan this QR and via mobile and you can give your attendance. Okay, so I will just showcase this for 2-3 minutes. Yes, additionally, if you are going to have any query or question about the Zoom, YouTube, LMS certification, you guys can drop in the chat box. I will take it up. Okay. Sir, can I get the Zoom recorded video online? I missed some part. Yes, yes, you will find over the LMS. Nevin, you can post your question in the chat box. Rest of raising the I completed form. Super. Thank you so much, Hari sir. Are we going to get verification mail if we register today, sir? Yes, yes. Everybody will get that. Okay, I'm sharing the attendance link once again here in the chat box. Good evening, sir. Yes, very good evening. Sir, will it be okay if we register today? Yes, definitely okay. No problem. When we'll get the LMS portal for today the registration? Within a 24 hours of time span. Okay. Others? All good? Yes, Ganesh, we're done for the day. We'll see you tomorrow at same time, sharp at 2 o'clock. Sir, can you please tell me, sir, link of the video? Lalit, you are part of WhatsApp group? You can just search with the XLR solution. You will get the YouTube video as well. And from that, you will get the LMS KT. Yeah, very good evening. No problem. Thank you for wishing me. Yes, bye. Thank you so much for attending the day one, and I look forward for the active participation from each one of you for the next remaining 4 days. We're successful done with the day one. Sir, can you please add my number in the WhatsApp group? It's showing this group does not exist. I'm so sorry. Adding it's not possible for me by Hari. But I will do one thing. I will share the WhatsApp group link with you. Okay. So just allow me a couple of seconds. It's not working properly. It's working. You can just paste in your WhatsApp by copying that, then it will work. Okay. Copy that link from a Zoom, paste it over WhatsApp to any one of your friends, share that, then you're able to see the join. Others, any doubt? YouTube participants? Shivani, let me know if it's working or not. If not, then I will help you with the another thing as well. No, sir, not working. Okay, I dropped a message over your WhatsApp. Okay, and I'm sharing that link there too. So you can just click on that and try to join. Tomorrow when having the session, same time, Hari, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Sir, it is required to see the recording again in the LMS. It's not mandatory, but if you're facing difficulty or you just missed down the part, as a backup purpose, we're providing that, okay? I had registered 2 days ago, still I have not getting the verification. Then most probably you can check your spam folder. If not, while filling the form, you not fill your mail ID correct. There are chances. Okay, ठीक है then चलो. So it's already 4:11. Okay, no problem. So you can just drop me a WhatsApp message. I'm there over the WhatsApp as well. If not, I'm sharing number with you. Okay, so you can ping me. We'll check that. So, dear students, thank you so much for attending the day one of this wonderful program. I hope you enjoy and you are going to enjoy. So we'll see you tomorrow at same time, sharp at 2 o'clock. Till the time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and